somewhere in space. This may all be happening right now.
All right, let me stick with Star Wars news. We have a game coming out.
Yes.
Too bad Michael's not here. Star Wars Squadrons. Are you a gamer, my friend?
No, I get bored really easily with games.
I can see that. I used to like really get into games, but it's just too much time commitment now. I hate the puzzles in games. So like Jedi Fallen Order, right? I bought it. I'm playing it. I just want to be a Jedi, dude. I want to beat people up, be a Jedi. Fucking, I gotta find shit and solve puzzles. I hate that almost as much as reading.
See, I'm there, like, I like solving puzzles. I don't like the fighting because I'm bad at it. I don't have that fast twitch, like, muscle control is really bad for me. I mean, partially it's because I, like, carpal tunnel, like, I can't, like, it just hurts too much to do for more than, like, 15 minutes at a time. And also, like, any sort of open world shit, I just get lost.
Yeah, I need maps, too.
I want like a linear, you go here, you do this thing, and then you go to the next spot, and then you go to the next spot. I don't want to go anywhere I want to go because I will not know where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, and the maps are impossible to read. They're like
Yes.
3-dimensional, impossible. Did you ever play the game BioShock?
No.
BioShock had this thing where like if you press like these two buttons, a thin white line would tell you where to go.
That's what I want.
Dude, that made the game awesome. Plus it was an amazing story and the action was good. Actually, dude,
Yeah.
BioShock would make a great movie. I'm sorry, go ahead.
My like dream Star Wars game would be, did you ever play any of the Telltale games where it's, if anything, it's sort of like a choose your own adventure? They did a Walking Dead one. They did, I think, Guardians of the Galaxy. They did one, what was it called?
No,
they did one for the comic book Fables, like The Wolf Within or something like that. And it's mostly like interactive story.
And it's on Xbox?
They've been released in a bunch of different ways. And, you know, it's just like a lot of, you know, things like dialogue choices. And you're just like playing through. You're much more on rails than you think you are. Like you think your choices matter more to the story than they actually do. If you look at all, like if you ever see the things where it's like breaks down how the story actually maps, it turns out your choices don't actually matter that much. But while you're playing, it feels like it does. And that's, for me, all that matters. But that's what I want, is just like a story that I can play through where it doesn't matter if I'm bad at beating people up. Because I'm really bad at beating people up.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do like tag team. Like
Okay.
like pretend we're roommates. Oh, that'd be so much fun. Pretend we're roommates, right?
Okay.
And then I'm fighting. Boom, 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 boom. And like, Emily, come here. Here's the remote. Solve the puzzle. That'd be
Yes.
awesome. Now let's get Chinese.
Yeah, I want puzzles. I like to, you know, like rearrange crystals until you open the lock of the thing. That's what
See,
I
I
want.
hate that. I hate that shit. But neither one of us can read a map, so
No, terrible at it. We need a third roommate.
we need a third roommate.
Anyway, Star Wars Squadrons, by the time this releases, the trailer will already be out, but we don't know it yet. But I mean, it's called Squadrons, and the tagline that they released was Pilots Wanted, so it's going to be some sort of flying game.
Yes. So I hate Battlefront 1 and 2, but the only part I like is like the Top Gun part where you're like dogfighting. So if they're taking my favorite part of Battlefront 2 and making a whole game out of it, I'm down. I don't know when the release date was. I forgot to save that part. Soon, I guess. Oh, some sad news. The guy who named Optimus Prime, Denny O'Neil, passed away at 81. He wrote comics for Marvel, and apparently he came up with the name Optimus Prime.
Yeah, he did Marvel, he did DC. I think he wrote a lot of, I believe, Green Lantern, might be Green Arrow. As far as I know, never read his stuff, but from everything that I've seen and like going through his list, very like influential writer.
Nice. Well, we're sorry he's gone, and Optimus Prime was one of my childhood heroes, if you will, when I thought it was real. So sorry to see you go, buddy. Good job on your work. Big fan. Denny O'Neil. All right, let's go to... Oh, I got a feeling you and I have another thing in common. Are you an Evil Dead fan?
I am an Evil Dead fan.
Dude, me too. Evil Dead 1 or 2, what do you like better?
It's hard because they're kind of the same movie.
Well, they are the same movie. Just one, they were like, oh, wow, we have a budget now.
Yeah, which is where I go, because I sort of enjoy the cheap makeshift, we're just going to figure this shit out of Evil Dead 1. This would require you reading a book, but Bruce Campbell's first autobiography, because he's written 2 memoirs now, goes a lot into the making of that first movie, and these stories are insane of them just like making shit up as they went along to try to figure out how to make this movie.
Really? Like what? Can you give me one? Because I love Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Bruce Campbell?
I mean, Bruce Campbell, but they talk about, because of course you have the thing that the Evil Dead is sort of the track, like the shot whenever you're following the demon, and it's like that straight, like zooming through the woods stuff, is stuff that they just sort of like jerry-rigged together, because there like wasn't a way to do that with the budget they had, so they just like figured it the fuck out. And it's also just like, one story that struck with me is him talking about how during a break he had taken his like costume off because it was obviously like covered in fake blood. And when he goes to put the shirt back on, the shirt is so covered in this dried like red food dye and corn syrup, I believe, that the shirt breaks, which shirts are not supposed to do and generally not known for.
So what about Army of Darkness?
I love Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness is the first one that I saw, and I know it's one of those that some people don't like because it's much more of a straight comedy, but because it's the first one that I saw, I didn't know what Evil Dead was before that. And while I wanted to definitely have some dark humor, Army of Darkness is full on like hilarious horror comedy. And so that's what I thought Evil Dead was. And so as that is my first experience of it, I fucking love that movie.
Did you ever watch Bubba Hotep?
I did. I don't remember much of it, but I remembered enjoying it.
It was good. It's basically like Elvis.
Yeah.
As a something. I saw it like once a while ago too. I went through my whole like Bruce Campbell phase. I saw all that shit. I never watched the series though. On Showtime, I think it was.
I never got, like, I watched a couple of episodes. It's one of those I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't into it enough to keep watching. I was, a couple episodes behind, and I just sort of went, I'll get to it eventually. I never did. Did you ever see not new anymore, but the other Evil Dead movie? The one without Bruce Campbell?
No.
It's actually really good. I can't remember the lead actress name, but I really like her, and I think it's a cool, interesting movie. It sort of suffers from the fact that it's an Evil Dead movie, and so is going to be compared to Evil Dead. But just in its own right, it's a really solid, gory, fun horror movie.
I'm gonna have to check it out. We have some more gaming news. Just to backtrack a little bit, Sony showed their PlayStation 5 and Xbox showed their next, I forget what it's called already, but the console wars have continued again, and people are going to be like, oh, I'm an Xbox guy, I'm a PS5 guy. That's going to be hitting my bank account soon. I don't know how people can get both. Fernando has both. Hawes has both. I don't know how people can do both. That's a lot of money.
That is.
That's $500. That's a lot of Star Wars figures I can buy for $500. That's 2 Hot Toys.
Yeah.
That's one less 17 figure. Not even the expensive ones. But the one thing that the PS5 has going for it is there's going to be a new Spider-Man movie, which I think is pretty cool because it's going to star Miles Morales.
That's cool. And I like Miles. He's a great character, and I think that'd be a fun. I'm probably not going to get either anytime soon. But if I were deciding between the two as something I was legitimately going to buy, I think that game might sway me.
The only thing that sucks for me is my Xbox runs my entertainment. Everything goes through the Xbox, you know? So my TV is not a smart TV. So the Xbox runs it.
Yeah.
So I need that. I know PlayStation can do that too, but I'm just used to the Xbox. I'm comfortable with the Xbox.
No, I totally get that.
I'm debating. But now that's 2 really cool Spider-Man games I can't play, which sucks.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll just let you play on both soon, or they'll make that game for both. All right, still got more huge news. Norman Reedus. Do you watch The Walking Dead?
I watched the first season.
Yeah, it wasn't for you?
Zombies are sort of my least favorite horror monster trope.
Oh, it's not about the zombies though.
No, but that's and god damn it, that's why I hate it is, oh, it's not about the zombies, it's about what humanity does to each other. I'm like, go fuck yourself. There hasn't been good zombies. I mean, maybe like Shaun of the Dead, but other than that, like if you're not George Romero, like go fuck yourself. It's all been done. You have nothing new. Like Walking Dead has nothing new to say. It's just like, here's some misery and people will be miserable some more and then some more miserable things will happen.
She has spoken. All right, so Norman Reedus of Walking Dead fame was asked basically by like a fan or a podcast or whatever. So it's not official or anything. Would you like to play Ghost Rider? And what the hell do you think he's going to say? He was like, fuck yeah, I would. And the problem is the only Ghost Rider we know is the Nicolas Cage movies, and they were terrible. A, do you know Ghost Rider? Do you like Ghost Rider? And then what do you think about the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider films?
Is there more than one Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider film? Because I've only seen the one.
No, there's
Okay.
2. They
Okay.
fucking actually made enough money to make another one.
I've only seen the first one. It's not a character I've ever liked. But I've never read Ghost Rider. I've only read Ghost Rider when he's been in like a guest appearance in other books, but not a character that I have any like nostalgia or attachment to or anything. How about you?
No, I never read them. The only comic book I religiously read was Deadpool. And I can't wait for like my Facebook posts, my Facebook memories of Facebook posts past come up. Because like in like whenever it was, like 2011, 2012, I was like, they should do a Deadpool movie. And like I was so ahead of the time. And I have a lot of the posts like that. Like I can't wait to come up. Like when Michael Jackson passed away, I remember saying like, oh, now you guys all love Michael Jackson. Like I've known you for years. You never liked Michael Jackson. And I wrote, I love Prince. I go, I'm saying that now in case something happens to him. And then like fucking A, like 7 years later, dude, Prince died tragically.
I mean, people do die, so I don't know quite how much you get like prophecy points for that.
No, but like early, like tragically.
Okay, but it wasn't like 2 weeks later Prince died. It was 6 or 7 years later.
But still, he wasn't like an old man, like died. You know, you assume, oh God, now I'm going to scare myself, knock on wood. You know, you assume everyone's going to live to like old, and old age will get you, you know? All right, so Norman Reedus would play Ghost Rider. Let's see if the fans can wish that into existence. Batmobile. I love this Batmobile because I love classic cars, and this looks just like my dream classic car, the 1967, 68, 69 Chevy Camaro body type. That's what it looks like. What do you think of the Batmobile?
I'm going to have to see it in action because I don't know, it's weird considering the other like modern Batmobiles that we've gotten, which have been super stylized or else like a tank basically. And then you get this and it looks like a car, and that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw Robert Pattinson's Batsuit, it makes sense that the car would look like this. Like his Batsuit looks like he pieced together like SWAT team gear.
Mhm.
You know, like he's early on Batman. He hasn't figured it out yet. And the car looks like he took like a old muscle car and put armor around it, but it still maintains the shape of that like 69 Camaro. So I think that's the Batman we're getting. And we're getting like, as Robert Pattinson was very proud to say, he's like, my Batman doesn't work out. That's what I want to do. Like Johnny Grosso, we would like to cast you as Superman. Yeah, my Superman doesn't work out. Because see, like I'm from another planet, so muscles really don't matter. Robert Pattinson's a baller for that. The one superhero that doesn't have to work out, like, and he made it happen.
Well, he didn't work out the way like Kristen Bale worked out. He still worked out for that role. He's just fucking with people because that's what Robert Pattinson does. That whole interview is just him being insane, and I love it. He's great.
Do you remember what the interview? I gotta see their interview. I gotta see the whole thing. So I only read the quote.
I feel like 95% of the interview, I don't remember what it was with, but 95% of the interview is just him being like weird and insane and trolling people.
Do you like Robert Pattinson? I like Robert Pattinson.
I love him. I think he's amazing.
Okay. Holy shit. See, this is why we're co-hosts. Future roommates. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. It's a solid plan.
Solid plan. Trust me, Sabrina suggests I move out at least once a month.
Oh, okay.
Maybe July will take her up on it. Oh, Robert Pattinson. Dude, great actor. Again, like just take Twilight out of it. Like you got to take Leo out of Titanic. And like everything else he's done has been like fucking sick. Like insane.
Yeah. I mean, he's somebody who makes extremely interesting choices, has done weird fucking movies, and is great in all of them. But I mean, honestly, if you have any question at all about Robert Pattinson being a good actor, like watch The fucking Lighthouse. And it's, I mean, basically, 99% of that movie is just him and Willem Dafoe. And he holds his own and is just like, it's a ballsy, weird fucking movie that he is incredible in.
Did you ever see that? Oh God, I don't know the name of it. It's on Netflix. It's about something King and Timothy, who spells his name weird, Timothy Chalamet. He's in a movie on Netflix, and Robert Pattinson plays like this French prince or general or something like that, and he's only in the movie for like 2 or 3 scenes. Awesome.
Mendelssohn's in that movie.
He is. Did you see that movie?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Okay, you should. It's a pretty good movie, but just for the Robert Pattinson part alone is amazing. Do you know the name of it? Do you have that in front of you?
I think it's just called The King.
It might be. All right. Speaking of movies with kings in it, you know where I'm going with this. Bill and Ted 3.
I'm so excited.
Dude, I don't care how bad this movie is. I don't care how horrible it is. I don't care if it's just filled with dumb dad joke after dumb dad joke. I can't wait for this movie.
I know. The fact that this movie is happening makes me so happy.
Dude, you know who's really happy?
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter's like fucking, he has Keanu's AOL email from like 93, and he like just sends it like, every Christmas and birthday. And then one day Keanu responds. And he's like, "Oh, hey, sorry I missed your last 32 birthday emails. Thank you. I don't really open up this AOL too often. But how are you?" And then like he replies with 8 paragraphs and like just talking about like how Bill and Ted would be awesome, and Keanu being just amazing. Is like, "Yeah, cool. So I'll run it by my agent, see what he says." And the fucking just agents just happen to love it, and there you go. So like, good for you, Alex Winter. Always emailing Keanu Reeves on his 1993 Keanu R at Keanu R 23 at AOL.
Okay, look. Alex Winter has been like, he has a production company. He's been making documentaries and stuff. He's doing his own shit. Like, he's not. No. I'm not saying he's at the level of Keanu, but he has a career that is like, he's a guy who is solidly doing things. It's not like he's like destitute on the street somewhere.
He wasn't acting.
No, but he was making movies.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that.
I love Keanu so much that he is a guy who would come back to these movies.
He has no fear. Dude, John Wick on paper is a piece of shit movie.
Well, just because there's a billion of those movies.
A billion. And after John Wick became a hit, then all these like old school actors are like, "Oh, I can do that too." And like you have all these like movies now of like these actors doing just pure action movies. And Keanu started with John Wick. Dude, there's no plot.
No, John Wick works because, I mean, first of all, whoever their action director, whoever their like fight choreography guy is amazing. But those movies work because Keanu works.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, no plot though. Like no story. And I love how like they didn't think one would be like a huge hit, and like part 2 and like part 3 are trying to like just make up the story as they go. Like, I don't get it. And they bring in your Deadwood guy. What's his name?
Ian McShane.
Yeah. Good. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
All right. Last topic before we read a couple emails. The Oscars is setting new inclusion standards for awards.
Yeah. There's a couple things going on. One is, and these don't apply to the next Oscars because like the rules are already set for that. But, for the past few years, it's sort of been going back and forth whether Best Picture is 5 movies or 10 movies. And it's going to be 10 from now on, hoping that opens up some slots for some more of their stuff. And the other thing they're doing is trying to diversify the actual body of the Academy. Because that's, like the people who vote on the Academy Awards, like you are part of the Academy of Motion Pictures. It is a lot of white men and a lot of old white men. And that, of course, if those are the people nominating movies and voting on movies, there's inherent biases there that have come forward a lot. We've seen that a lot in the past several years, like the, Oscars so white hashtag that goes around and is pretty accurate.
True. It's absolutely necessary. But I like that they're doing it with the voters, with the Academy itself. That's the way it should be. Yeah, so I think we are ready for some questions. We got a couple. This is from, I actually mentioned him on the show today, Richie Jafarjian. Excited to see the evolution of your content and what's to come. There has been so much talk that the future of Star Wars should be managed in the way of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Who would you like to see manage a Star Wars Cinematic Universe, and what would you like to see next in Star Wars cinema? Well, aren't we getting the Marvel guy, Kevin Feige, to do Star Wars? Well, so I'm gonna go with Kevin Feige. He's always got a foot in the door.
He's doing a Star Wars movie.
That's what you know why? Because just like I asked you to go on one episode, right? And then it went well, and I was like, why don't you do another episode? And now look at you.
I mean, I don't know. That's who do I want it to be is sort of a hard question because that's such a. I mean, except for a couple of people like Kathleen Kennedy, like Kevin Feige, first of all, it's not a role that exists very much because there are only a couple of like really huge franchises, but it's generally not a really like public role. I don't know who the really amazing movie producers are. I don't know who the really amazing like executives in the motion picture industry are. I know
even if you pick a director.
Well, no, I mean, that's a very different thing. Like, it's just a completely different job. And for the most part, I like Kathleen. I like what she's done. There's still huge gaps between the, like, stuff they talk about in terms of diversity and the stuff that actually happens in terms of diversity. And so that's a real big deal because in order to get diverse stories, you need diverse people telling them and you need diverse people, like, not just on screen, which they've been doing a better job of, but also behind the screen in terms of directing and writing and like everything across the board. And that, they're not doing the best job at, although we're seeing incremental improvements. It is something Marvel is actually doing a better job at than Star Wars is in terms of getting diverse people behind the camera. Yeah. And so that's something I do think Kevin Feige is good at, is finding people to tell stories. I do hesitate of being like, hey, it should be this white dude.
Well, that sucks because I picked two white dudes. Kevin Feige, just because he's done it before masterfully, and I was thinking Steven Spielberg because the dude doesn't fuck up. The dude is just amazing, just doesn't mess up.
I don't know, like I want Star Wars to be. I don't want Star Wars to be Marvel. Like I want Star Wars to be slightly more like expansive than that. I don't want all the stories to be in one. Yeah. And yes, like you can watch Thor and you can watch Captain America as separate movies, but I don't necessarily want that whole, like, it's all leading up to this and everything pieced together because especially since you have an entire galaxy far, far away, I want stuff to be happening in different eras and different places. I don't want one unified story. I want a bunch of different stories, like all over the place. I want a High Republic story. I want something like far-flung Star Wars future. I want a bunch of different shit, and then like everybody can find the shit that they like.
What sucks is though when you do find something you like and you fall in love with a character, the studio wants to make more of the character. You want to see more of the character. I think that's where we get. You know what I mean? Like Rogue One, they killed everybody.
Yeah.
So they have to go prequel now. And I didn't really like Rogue One anyway. Solo didn't make enough money, even though I loved it. But I think that's going to happen. I think the fans are going to wish that into existence. But that's the problem, why it just can't be one-off after one-off after one-off. Because, like, you're going to love a movie, and you're going to be like, wow, I want more of that character. And, like, they want to give you more of that character. So that's why they create things like that universe.
Yeah, and you can, like, okay, you can still do trilogies and stuff, but with the, like, Star Wars, like, has this, like, whole playground and the fact that you have, movies and we're getting TV shows now and, like, both live action and animation, like, play around a little bit more. And, yeah, still, occasionally go back and do a trilogy, but not everything has to be told in these same 40 years. Like, try something new. Like, that's how we got Star Wars in the first place, is because George Lucas created something new.
Or he ripped off Flash Gordon.
Yeah, no, but that's a different thing than, like, it's not a Flash Gordon movie.
Wait, was it? Did I hear somewhere, read somewhere that, like, if they gave him the rights to do a Flash Gordon movie, we'd never have Star Wars?
I've heard that. I believe that's probably true. But look, like, you want to do a pastiche of whatever you want, sure, but like, at least like create some more fucking characters and like put it in a different time spot. So it's not, this one fits in the 2 days between this other story and this other story that we've already told.
Yep. Good point. All right, you ready?
Okay.
This is from Ian. Hey, pop culture gang. Oh, he specifically addressed it to the Pop Culture Hour gang. So you know what that means, right? Ian's one of our 7 listeners. Ian, thank you. So he writes, fuck these hiccups. So one of my favorite cartoon shows, fuck. God darn it, man. So one of my favorite cartoon shows as a kid, and even now, is Avatar, The Last Airbender. Hopefully you got to see some of it when it was originally on, or have been able to watch for the first time since it's all on Netflix. It's so good, plus Netflix is working on a live action adaptation. Any live action would be better than the horrible movie. My question is, there's some debate about whether or not this is anime or not. I'm not sure what to make out, because is anime strictly a genre put out by East Asian cultures? What are your thoughts? May the force be with you. Well, shit, Ian, I have, excuse me, the hiccups, and I have no idea about anime. Emily, can you help?
I honestly can't. Like, I know a little bit. Like, I've seen this argument happen before in terms of what anime means, but I am definitely not qualified to answer that question.
We might have just lost one of our 7 listeners. He wrote this amazing question about anime, and neither one of us know. Dude, Pappas would know.
Is this Ian Gallagher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my dude.
Then they, but is Ian's preferred pronoun.
Yes.
But
still.
So I'm not, like, I just don't answer. The only Avatar I have seen is the terrible Shyamalan movie.
I've seen it. I never got through it.
Like, I've never seen a single episode of it. I've just seen that movie. That movie is dog shit, but
hot dumpster fire, that movie is. All right, Ian, please write in again. We'll do better.
Yeah. Hopefully, like, Mike, you'll be here and then can have like something to say about this question.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I've seen, I've seen none of Avatar, and I've seen 1 or 2 actual for sure anime series.
Yeah, I don't. I saw Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
That's all I got. It was okay. All right, now here's something I did see. This is from Vic Kazupi, my man. Holy shit, my man. You would think I would not like Vic. Vic is handsome and muscular, and like 10 times more muscular than me. Like, does it for a living muscular. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that work out. Like, I'll put myself in that category. And then there's people that like work out for a living, and this is Vic. But like, if I was really a bad person, I would hate Vic. But I love Vic. Vic is awesome. A little background on Vic. And he's also like a big Star Wars collector too. Just got into Hot Toys.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Vic. 1981 was in the wake and craze of Star Wars cinema, as we all know. Lucasfilm's special effects, puppetry, and use of scaled models certainly revolutionized the way movies were made. Wow, and apparently Vic is a great writer. However, not to be compared to Star Wars, because what can compare? But an adventure in its own right, I make a case that 1981's Clash of the Titans movie has been far overlooked. Of course, we are in the midst of Indiana Jones, Mad Max, but behind that, what is there? Why not put Clash of the Titans in the conversation as one of the top adventure movies in the early 80s? Aside from difficult names to pronounce, perhaps we can get a better Greek name on some of these characters like, I don't know, Michael. What's not to love about the intrigue of Medusa and the evil pursuit of Calibos? I remember as a young boy, I wanted to learn more. I wanted to know about the blind witches and the other gifts of the gods could give humans. I wanted more mythology movies based around the slaying of beasts and rescuing of princesses. Dude, Vic is a good writer. I'm really feeling this guy. There really aren't too many quality movies in the realm of Clash of the Titans, especially beyond 1981. Please do not get me started on how disappointing the 2010 remake and sequel were. Although the Medusa scene was certainly cool, as a whole it was a big swing and a miss. Once again, overcomplicating a simple story in an attempt to make it even larger than life. There were so many unnecessary additions that just made the movie worse. As a big-time collector, didn't I mention this? Let me conclude by sharing my link of the toys that were produced by Mattel. The line was way overlooked. The line was way overlooked, and I am sure I have loved to have these as a young boy. Thank you for letting me write in, guys. Great podcast. Yours truly and forever. XOXO. He flirts too. So, thank you, Vic, one of our 7 listeners. Okay, dude, Clash of the Titans. For sure. I watched this as a kid over and over again. What about you, Emily?
Never actually seen it.
It's good. It's really good. It's really good. Basically, he has to rescue the princess and he has to defeat a Titan, right? A Titan, which looks like Godzilla, is going to raise from the oceans and eat her, which is comical in itself because the Titan, just picture Godzilla, is so big and the girl is like your size. And like, why would he be excited to eat that? You know what I mean? It's like a Tic Tac. And it's like he clearly does a whole lot of swimming to have this like Tic Tac. So, and he gets all angry, like, oh, the Kraken, it's called. Release the Kraken. Anyway, and so he needs to stop this. Perseus needs to stop this. And so he like asks the wise man, like, you know, how do you defeat a Titan? And he goes, the only person that can defeat a Titan is the Titan itself. So he's like, well, what damn Titan do I need to like get to like help beat up the Kraken? So he plans on like killing Medusa. But Medusa, as you know, if she looks at you, you turn to stone. So how do you like defeat someone that if they just look at you, you're dead, right? So it's a really cool scene and how he does it. And he's apparently part god. So he gets like gifts from the god. He gets this awesome shield. He gets this awesome sword. And he gets this like mechanical talking owl. And these are his gifts from the gods. And he goes on his adventures and kills like huge scorpions. Like it's really good like action sandal movie, as they call it. I would like you to see that movie if you're free, if you're able to. Some of the graphics are super cheesy, but it's a good story.
I think that's sort of always what kept me from it. I mean, I was like super into Greek mythology when I was a kid, but
dude, I think you'd like this movie. Did you watch the 2010 version?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it looks god awful.
No, you're right. You and Vic are right. It is god awful. It is god awful.
Also, Sam Worthington is in that, and that is like watching a plank of wood.
Terrible. Like, how did he get Avatar?
How does he get anything? People keep putting him in movies, and he's awful.
Well, so Hollywood always corrects itself, but it takes time. So he got cast in Avatar because Matt Damon said no. And I don't know how this dude beat out everyone else. And Avatar made $1 gajillion. So that's how he got his next 4 or 5 movies, right? But then over time, people are like, he sucks, and people don't go see his movie. You know, Terminator Salvation, I think it was called, sucked.
Yeah.
Right? And that even had Bryce Dallas Howard and Christian Bale in it. Still bombed. And he had to wear that. The Clash of the Titans movies could have been so good. Horrible. He had to wear that. He did a cheesy, like, phone booth movie. He had to wear that. And now he hasn't acted in a while.
But he's in the Avatar sequels.
Because he did it. But now he's technically only a voice.
He's so bad.
But he's only a voice now. Because if you remember how Avatar ended.
Like, he can't emote.
No, but he doesn't have to because he's a blue creature.
With his voice, he cannot emote, which is a problem if you are an actor.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's terrible.
I always get him and Jai Courtney confused.
Jai Courtney's just terrible too.
Yeah, I mean they're just the same guy. They're just generic white dude.
Hey, not all generic white dudes are generic white dudes. From generic white dude.
Yeah, but they are both very generic, bland white dudes. They are like, if you like went to the paint store and got some white paint, it would be Jai Courtney and Sam Worthington.
If you wanted to create an emoji of Jai Courtney, you would just open your phone and just go with what Apple gave you. I'll never forget that day. Wow, you did such a great job of your avatar. That's standard. Thanks. In a world that celebrates diversity, I am the white man emoji.
Yeah, it must be so hard for you.
Well, I Doesn't suck, but it's funny. Okay, I think we are good. This was a 2-hour pop culture hour. Maybe we should like release it in stages. That's not a bad idea. What do you think?
Where would you cut it?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure Bill. Oh, we didn't say hi to Bill. Hello, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
This whole episode. This is where he says, "Fuck you, Johnny."
Yeah, fuck you and your 2-hour episode.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say that guy's voice sounds like?
I said his voice sounds like 3DPO.
Oh, okay.
Why are you recording me?
We'll probably do that. We'll probably do like, instead of waiting every other week, we'll do part 1 and then part 2, week to week. I'll run it by Bill. He does all the hard work. We just talk. Yay. All right. Where can we find you in this crazy internet world?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at EFLind, and you can hear my other podcast. They have a Star Wars podcast called the Canto Bight Dispatch, and I have a inexplicable Fast and the Furious podcast called The Fan and the Furious.
Awesome. I am just on this show. So thank you, 7 people. So you can find me on Twitter at Pop Culture Hour. We're on Instagram too, at Pop Culture Hour. We would like you to download, like, and subscribe YouTube channel, Pop Culture Hour. And if you want to write in, you got to add the. So you have to go the Pop Culture Hour at Gmail. Please write in. Rich Jafarigian, you sexy mother. Vic Kazupi, you sexy mother. And anyone and everyone else. You guys send video messages so you can be on the pot. Rich Jafarigian, I know damn well you're going to do this. Get your little beautiful new baby girl in the picture and everything. Vic, don't be shirtless. If I can't take my shirt off, you don't take your shirt off. Besides, I pale in comparison. So if you send a video message, you have to have your shirt on. It's a rule. Okay. What else? I think is that about it?
I think that's it.
That's it. We don't have a TeePublic store. We don't have t-shirts. Maybe soon. No rush. Let's get to 10 listeners and we'll get some t-shirts going.
Maybe a couple more episodes first.
Yeah. So please, 7 listeners, tell people, get the word out, please. Please. iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. I have to check and see if it's on Stitcher. I don't know. Google Play, but again, like, just search for it and click on the one that has the pretty logo, not the generic logo. That one, I don't know how to get rid of. And Mike sure doesn't. I asked Mike to help, and Mike says, sure, I'll help. And what does he do, Emily?
He asked me for help.
He asked you to do it.
No, he didn't know how to do it. He tried to figure it out and couldn't, and so he asked me.
He didn't. Look, I love him too, but he never tried. I legit tried, got real busy with work, and was like, Mike, I need you to figure this out. And he said, I'll call Emily. Or he called Emily, and I found out later. I was so pissed. I was legit really mad at him. I was like, you can figure it out, dude. But that's it. All right. We are done. Till the next one.
Bye.